Hello, wonderful, spirited journeyers. This is Deborah Roth from Spirited Living, back with another edition in this new year. I am videoing this on the first of our Inner Goddess Team videos in 2022. Whether you're watching it with me now and joining me now, or at some other point, evening, afternoon, morning, welcome. And this week, it's another one who's not, she's not officially a goddess, but she has such a huge impact in Italy, and she's such a beloved archetype, beloved person in Italy that's how she made it into our Inner Goddess Team, and she has wonderful messages for us. And if you've been following me here, you know that what we do here each week is to explore different faces of the Divine Feminine, of this archetype of the best feminine qualities that all of us carry within us, regardless of your gender, male, female, however you identify. And those qualities include compassion and sensitivity and empathy and honoring our intuition, honoring our emotions, honoring our bodies. We certainly know that women's bodies in particular, but bodies in general have been defiled for millennia, a couple thousand years probably, certainly hundreds of years. And then honoring our connection to nature. And so what we do here each week is to look at some of these qualities that we all carry within us, and how they're represented by these representations, by these archetypes of goddesses from around the world, of important women from around the world who, just through the power of our intention, we elevate to the label, to the deification of goddess. Women like Julian of Norwich, who I wrote about and spoke about back in May, and many other ones. So La Befana is one of those, and I encourage you to check her out yourself. I won't be able to sing some of the songs that are sung at this moment to celebrate her, but definitely check them out. I'll share with you some of the words. And then I'd love to hear your comments. Subscribe and find out about some of these other goddesses. What do we call families that we create? So these are created goddesses. We declare them to be goddesses. So La Befana, I think, is one of those. Now, who she is, with that little bit of preamble, she is celebrated, and her name actually derives from the Epiphany. And in the Christian tradition, the Epiphany occurs on the 12 days after the Magi, after the three wise men arrived to celebrate Jesus. They followed the Christmas star, they followed the star. And La Befana is actually thought to be a derivation of Epiphania, which is the Roman word for the Epiphany. And the story goes, the legend of La Befana, that's so beautiful, is that as the Magi, as the three wise men were following the star, they stopped at her house and asked if she knew where this beloved baby Jesus was lying in a manger. She did not, but like any the things that I read were very sweet. Like any proper Italian housewife, homekeeper, she invited them inside. I think they spent the night and offered them food and took care of them. And then the next day, when they were setting off, they asked her if she wanted to join them. And she declined, saying that she had much housework to do, and so they went on their way. But as she was doing her housework, she's sweeping with her broom, she starts to regret that she made this decision not to go on this momentous journey with the Magi. So she decides that she's going to set off and find them, but they've disappeared. She fills a sack does this sound familiar for this, holiday, Christmas season? She fills the sack with toys and sweets to bring to this baby Jesus. And along the way, she drops them off at other children's homes in case she can't eventually get to baby Jesus. And the story goes that she does that every year, still seeking him, and she's become a very beloved figure and literally celebrated on the eve of Epiphany, which is actually January 5th. So that's kind of her big day. So you can get ready for it if you want to celebrate her in any way. And this tradition, the honoring of this beloved La Befana, actually predates Santa Claus. It's said to go back to like the 13th century. So she's been around a long time, and she's celebrated at this time all over Italy. So some of the ways you might celebrate her can kind of hearken back to her connection to a Roman goddess, a possible connection, we don't know for sure a lot of these things, to the Roman goddess Stenia or Stenua. It's spelled different ways. And she was a goddess who was considered to be the protectress and nurturer of children. And so, and if you consider what Befana, who she is and what she does, she's always depicted, and here's a beautiful picture of her. She's always depicted as a crone, as an old woman, carrying her lantern to see if she can find the baby Jesus, with a sack of toys on her back, and soot covered, because eventually the legend goes she would come down the chimney. How's that for a precursor to Santa Claus? So she would come down the chimney, but also soot covered because she was not originally set out to be a witch. In some representations of her show her wearing a witch's cap, but actually she's typically shown with with the shawl and with a cape and with a scarf around her head, like she is in this drawing, because she's left all of her housework behind because she realized that she didn't need to do that. So maybe that's one message, one way to embrace the message of Stefana Stenia or La Befana is to make sure that your priorities are right. When there is something miraculous that you have just the smallest chance to participate in, to connect with, then let some of the more mundane things fall by the wayside for a bit. You can come back to them. You can sweep your house. You can do all of that housework that La Befana was so sure she had to do, so she couldn't set off with the Magi. Another way to honor Befana is you can take it literally and support the children in your life. Some of in her face of the Roman goddess Stenia, she's honored with figs and bay leaves, and that was another one. I don't remember what the other one was, but you could share fig Newtons with a favorite child. You could make with them a little bag, just like her bag, with fig leaves with a little sweet in it. And this is again another precursor to the Santa Claus legend, the Santa Claus story, is that she would just drop a piece of coal in the kids would put their shoes either by the fireplace or by their door, depending on what tradition they were following, whether she came down the chimney or went by their house. And if they had not been good that year, then they would get a little piece of black coal. But she was still always, depicted with a smile and with this loving nature. And apparently there are shops in Italy that provide dark rock candy, understanding that all kids are, no child, no adult is ever going to be perfect. So that's kind of a playful part of her tradition. So if you don't have children, you might consider volunteering at a shelter, or taking a child who might not otherwise be able to go. Well, it's a little cold and dark if you're in the Northeast, as I am, but to go to the zoo or to do something that would delight a child. And so that's the literal. The symbolic way is to just honor the inner child within yourself, to give yourself permission to give yourself a little gift, maybe to give yourself a little sweet. Have a fig Newton, which I hated as a kid, but I really enjoy as an adult. So just some ideas of how to embrace the La Befana energy from this really beautiful holy day holiday that's going on right now in Italy. And I am by no means an Italian speaker, so please do go on and find the tune to this. But there are several La Befana songs, children's songs, and this one. And again, I'll try not to massacre the Italian here. La Befana vien de notte con la scarpe tutte rotte, col cappello alla romana, viva viva la Befana. And that's how you greet people on this day. Viva viva la Befana. So honoring that both the wise woman crone and the child in you, I mean, is another way to really embrace this. So you have lots of choices of how to embody this particular member of your inner goddess team and let her and allow yourself to play with her. So look for her song and have a beautiful La Befana celebration. Viva viva La Befana. Happy New Year, and we'll see you here next week. Bye for now.